Hello, good people, and welcome to a Doceri video that we'll be reviewing for our first quiz. This covers absolute value, comparing, opposites, and adding and subtracting integers. Let's get started. First topic is absolute value. The absolute value is a number's distance from zero, and the number will always be positive. Why is this? Well, let's say that here's your house and you travel 2 miles this way, or if you travel 2 miles this way, you are 2 miles from your house. You are not negative 2 miles or positive 2 miles. You're just 2 miles from your house. So absolute zero, it's kind of like this is zero. Sorry, absolute value. This is like zero, and the distance that we are from it is always going to be positive. So let me erase this and we'll have room to do a couple problems here. So let's see. We show absolute value with these vertical bars. So if I said, this would read as, what's the absolute value of negative 3? How far is negative 3 from 0? It is 3 from 0. Also, what's the absolute value of positive 3? That's also 3. Pretty straightforward. This gets a little bit more challenging when we have an actual math problem to do that involves absolute value. For example, if we had negative 10 plus 4, and the absolute value bars are around the whole problem. So this would read, what's the absolute value of negative 10 plus 4? We need to solve what's inside of this first. So negative 10 plus 4 is negative 6. And now I'm looking for the absolute value of that, so that would be 6. Next up, comparing. You've been doing this for a long time, comparing numbers. This is where we say it's less than, it's greater than, or it's equal to. Couple things to remember. We need to read left to right. Another thing, negative numbers are always smaller, or less than, are always, less than a positive. Which makes sense if we think about a number line. Here's 0. If I have negative 2, or even more than that, negative 22, that's going to be less, a smaller number than plain old 2. So this would read negative 22 is less than positive 2. Opposites. An opposite is going to be the same number or digits but with a different sign. 0 doesn't really have a sign, so 0 doesn't really follow this rule. But if I had negative 4, the opposite would be positive 4. It makes even more sense when we see it on a number line, because if this is 0, we'd have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4. These numbers are the same distance away from 0. They are opposites. Adding integers. We had two basic rules here. The first one applied if the signs were the same. So then we would just add them and keep the sign. What does this look like? Negative 8 plus negative 3. The signs are the same. This one is negative, this one is negative. So we're going to keep that sign. Our answer will be negative, so we're just adding these and getting 11. This also works with positive numbers. You've been doing this forever. 4 plus 6 is 10. Positive 4, positive 6, the answer is 10. Adding integers continued. if the signs are different, we have a new rule. We need to subtract, which is weird, and then we're going to keep the sign of the bigger digit. What does this look like? What if I had negative 12 plus 4? These signs are different. So I'm going to subtract my numbers. 12 minus 4, that's going to be 8. And I'm going to keep the sign of the bigger digit. The 12 is the bigger digit, so I'm going to be negative. Here's another example. 17 plus a negative 6. So I'm going to subtract these. 17 minus 6 is 11. And then I'm going to keep the sign of the bigger digit. 17 is bigger, so it's positive. My answer will be positive. Subtracting integers. When we subtract integers, Ms. Guestwick introduced us to a famous song. So we use that song to help us remember the rule. Keep, change, change. Keep, change, change. And then after we do that, we will follow our rules for adding. What? All right, let's see this. So negative 4 minus 12. I'm going to keep this number. That's my first one. Keep. Sorry. Change. I'm going to change this sign to a plus, and change, I'm going to change this number to a negative 12. So I kept my 4, I changed this sign, and I changed the positive 12 to negative 12. Now I'm going to follow my adding rules. Well, remember our adding rules? I could go back a couple slides. Signs are the same, we add them and keep the sign. Signs are different, we subtract, keep the sign of the bigger digit. What do we have here? Oh, my signs are the same. Negative 4 and negative 12. Just add them right up. 16, keep the sign. Negative 16. All right, let's do another one. I'll erase my workspace here. So another example to keep, change, change. So now I have 4 minus 13. Well, I'm going to keep my 4. I'm going to change my minus to a plus and change my positive 13 to a negative 13. 4 plus negative 13. Oh, my signs are different. I need to subtract. 13 minus 4 is 9. Positive or negative? Positive or negative? 13 is the bigger digit, and that's negative, so it's going to be a negative 9. That's it. Watch the video a few times if you like, and we're sure that you're going to do a great job. Bye-bye.